Jara, I understand that if we eliminate the burden of past guilt and future worries, life will be joyful. I also understand that if I'm not accountable for my actions, there's no room for guilt or worry. However, I find it difficult to accept your assertion that I'm not doing any actions. Isn't it true that I'm actively involved in various activities?
No, you are not engaging in any actions. To assert, I am undertaking numerous actions, you must first explain what you mean by the term, I.
When I say, I'm referring to my body. Using my hands and legs, I am performing a multitude of actions.
Yet, your body is in a perpetual state of change. Allow me to illustrate. The ship of Theseus is a classic example to investigate identity. The Greeks decided to preserve the ship of warrior Theseus, who won many a battle. Over 1,000 years, they maintained the ship by replacing its various parts which got worn out or broken. One by one, the sails, hull, the masts, the rigs, the rails, the oars, and so on. Eventually, each of the parts were worn out and were replaced. At one point in time, none of the original parts of the ship that Theseus actually sailed were present in the ship. Yet it continued as the ship of Theseus. Since Theseus has never sailed on this completely altered vessel, can it genuinely be called the ship of Theseus? If someone were to assert that they've sailed on the ship of Theseus, would that claim hold true?
It's open to debate. But what is your main point?
Whom do you see in these pictures?
That's me in all these pictures.
Can you genuinely assert that this young girl is you? Just as the extensively transformed ship is no longer the ship of Theseus, this young girl cannot be considered you.
I understand that our body's cells continuously die and regenerate, leading to physical transformations. However, that doesn't imply that the core of who I am is changing. Only my body is undergoing change. Perhaps, in the case of the ship, the debate revolves around whether it remains the ship of Theseus or not, since it's made up solely of physical components. Yet, I am more than just my physical body. There's a deeper essence to me.
I concur with that perspective. However, for you to assert that the young girl in those pictures is you, there must be an unchanging element, connecting both identities. In the face of differences in bodily parts, including the brain, how can you claim that this girl was truly you?
I often liken the brain to computer hardware and the mind to software. Even if the hardware changes, the software persists, right?
Are you suggesting that your mind has remained constant?
Oh, no. My mind, too, is in a continual state of flux. Yet, I do retain memories from my childhood.
Are you asserting that you were the little girl in the photograph solely due to your memory? But what if those memories were to fade away completely?
I see your point now. Nevertheless, my identity encompasses more than that. Consider my personality, for example. I've always had this persistent streak, and my core principles and beliefs have remained steadfast.
Are you truly certain about that? Can you even recall what your beliefs and values were at the age of 10? Remember, even your thoughts, preferences, and attitudes are subject to ongoing change.
That's a fascinating argument. However, amidst all these changes, I still hold on to dreams, ambitions, and aspirations that mirror my innermost desires and motivations. These intrinsic facets continue to steer my choices, actions, and personal evolution.
Quite valid. Yet, based on your description, these facets also undergo perpetual transformation. So, how can you assert that they connect you to the 10-year-old girl in those pictures?
I acknowledge the challenge. I recognize that societal shifts, technological advancements, and evolving norms consistently shape us, driving change.
Does this imply that you're now willing to concede that you might not be the same individual as the one depicted in those pictures?
I'm certain that it's me in those pictures. However, I struggle to pinpoint an unchanging aspect within me.
Consider individuals who undergo significant transformations, from who they were at 20 to who they become at 40. The dynamic and assertive person at 20 might mellow with age. Someone who struggled academically in school could evolve into a successful scientist later in life. Change transcends the physical realm. Whatever you consider beyond the physical has also undergone substantial change. So, how can we reconcile the notion of the same person? Let's revisit our ship analogy. Interestingly, there is another possibility. Imagine, while the old worn-out parts of the ships were being replaced with newer ones, these old parts were collected by somebody and put together into a ship. Now this ship would have been made of the original parts of the ship of Theseus. Can this be called the ship of Theseus? Will that mean we have two ships of Theseus now? When we apply this line of reasoning to human identities, it creates complex situations, bringing in the question of what is the true identity.
I acknowledge the paradox. There doesn't appear to be a single answer.
Yes, this is widely regarded as a paradoxical question, yet it stems from a lack of understanding. Assuming the existence of a substance called a ship is a misconception. There is no ship. It appears to exist, but in truth it is just a form, for which we have given a name. Hence, the inquiry about which is the ship of Theseus is void and not a paradox.
So, you're implying that my body and mind are illusory and do not truly exist.
Precisely, that's my point.
But I'm conscious of all that unfolds, including the changes within my body and mind. I'm aware of my thoughts, emotions, and sensations.
You're correct. You are that awareness. Your existence lies in awareness, not in body and mind.
Finally, you're suggesting that this unchanging awareness is the core. Does that mean you now agree that all these pictures on the wall are me?
Yes, and more. You encompass the entire universe. You do not initiate actions. Your body-mind complex engages in activities dictated by the environment. In response to sensory input, appropriate actions manifest through your limbs. You're not an active participant, but a passive observer of the grand unfolding drama. Rest assured, you're not the doer of actions. Enjoy life.